Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Future is Bilingual podcast. My name is Heather. Today's episode is going to be shorter than normal, and it's the first in a three-part series. So last year around this time, I started the podcast last November, and I had the second episode come out around this time in early December, talking about my own story. And that is actually, to this day, the most listened to episode, probably because it's one of the first. But it's by a lot. It's not just by a few. So I thought that people might be interested to hear how things are going now, a year later. So I'm going to break it down into three parts. And today, I want to talk about what I learned about podcasting, because I am a new podcaster. I still consider myself a new podcaster. It's only been a year, and I didn't publish that many episodes. It was about one every month. So it's not a weekly thing that I do, not yet, not working part-time and having kids at home, being a stay-at-home mom. It's just not possible. So I have a few things that I've written down that I'd like to share with you guys. So the first is, and you might know this, you might not, but podcasting takes a lot of time, a lot. It's really easy to listen to podcasts and think that they just sat down and had a conversation for an hour and that's it. And they just press publish, but that's not really what happens at all. There's a lot of planning that goes into episodes beforehand. There's a lot of editing that goes into after. I am a self-proclaimed perfectionist, so I edit a lot, but I really enjoy editing. It's actually one of the parts that I like the most. I like to re-listen to my conversations with people and really get the audio sounding great. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a labor of love, as I've said on Instagram before. Another thing I learned about podcasting, about myself, is that I say the words, you know, and yeah, a lot more than I realized. I don't listen to myself talking that often, but I do now. So this past year, I've heard myself speaking with a lot of different people. And as I'm editing, I'm trying to get out all these times that I've said, yeah, you know. So that's just part of how I speak. There you go. There's an example. Another thing I noticed about myself is that I don't always finish my thought before, my brain is racing and I just kind of start talking about the next thing. So that's particular to myself. But in all this time that I spent listening to episodes and editing them, I've heard myself kind of like start a thought and then trail off or jump into another thought. Or maybe someone I'm talking with jumps in. But yeah, I'm not really great about finishing my sentences, so I want to do better with that, especially when talking with other people. Another thing that I've learned, especially with guests, is that it's really important not to talk at the same time. And this might be specific to the program I'm using to record or something, but it's really hard to hear both of us. If we both start talking at the same time, the audio doesn't really pick either of us up. And it's super hard to edit that out. You can't really, at least I haven't learned how to like parse that and do anything good with it. So I just have to be really conscious that I'm not speaking or trying to interject when my guests are speaking. This is getting to be really personal. Sorry, guys. I hope it's interesting nonetheless. So another thing that I've realized this past year is that the bilingual and multilingual community is quite small. However, people are really, really welcoming and supportive and incredibly helpful, and they share lots. And it's been a really wonderful year, kind of making a name for myself and getting to know people and just meeting so many amazing people. So another point is that I've made some really great friendships online, which of course that's possible. We all know this, it's 2020, but I think it's even more important this year with the pandemic. Everybody's stuck at home. We're not even seeing, family, friends, people that are outside of our household. So it's just been really nice. It's been really positive for me to make some friendships. I have people that email me. I have people that send me DMs on Instagram, and conversations that go back and forth. So it's really positive, and I really appreciate everybody that has reached out and responded if I've reached out and things like that. It's really nice to have a community. So thank you to everybody. This one's kind of weird. Another thing is that I have stopped hating the sound of my own voice. And maybe that's just because I have heard it so much over this past year listening to myself talk. So if I know many people say, "Oh, I hate the sound of my voice. Oh, I don't want to listen to that recording." But yeah, if you do it enough, I guess you stop stop hating it. Uh, One important thing I've realized, and I've asked the Instagram community in a poll, and I myself feel this way, is that people prefer shorter episodes, and I am totally guilty of that. I prefer much shorter episodes. If I see something that's an hour, I'm like, oh, when am I going to have time to listen to that? Or I listen to it in chunks. Um, so that is something that's part of my goal for next year, but I'll get into that in a minute. One other thing I've learned over this past year is that self-promotion is really important. It's really tricky. Not a lot of us like to, throw ourselves out there and talk about what we're doing and talk about ourselves, but people won't know if we don't mention it. And if you don't have somebody else mentioning it for you, you might have to be the one to mention it. So that's been a little bit tricky for me, but I'm trying. Uh, and the last thing I wanted to say is that as the podcast has gotten bigger and I've started to hear from people, hearing from listeners is the best. I love hearing someone say that they enjoy listening to the podcast. I love hearing people just reach out and say, I've listened to this episode. I obviously see that people have listened, but it's so different to get an email or to get a DM, just to get a message from somebody that says that they are tuning in and they listened and they found it interesting. That is just, it makes it all worth it. It's just the best. I can't express how much appreciation and gratitude I have for people that have reached out and told me that they're enjoying it, because it's a strange thing to make a podcast. You are sitting by yourself talking to yourself and you hope people will tune in and listen, but you don't always know. I love podcasts. I listen to a lot of them, and it makes me want to reach out to more people and send more emails to podcasts that I enjoy. I do a lot of sharing. I share a lot of podcast episodes that I enjoy on Instagram on my personal Instagram account. So that's another thing you can do, is just get the word out, share it with on your Instagram story, things like that. But I really this coming, well, December and year, I want to reach out to more podcasts that I enjoy, because I know now how it's just really, it makes everything worth it. It really touches me. It touches my heart. So thank you to everybody. So I'd like to end these short little episodes with a few goals, because it's the end of the year and it's that time to start thinking about what we'd like to do better. But really, I think we should always be reflecting and trying to improve. So here are some of my podcasting goals for next year, starting now. Record shorter episodes. So starting with this one, based on what people said, they enjoy episodes that are shorter. I also enjoy when I see something that's 20 minutes, under that 30-minute mark. I'm not sure what to do about interviews, if I will be publishing them in a part 1, part 2, or if it's better to just publish it as one and let people listen to it when they can. You guys can let me know if you have any feedback on that. I'm not really sure. It's something that I've just recently started to think about. So let me know, reach out. You can find me. You guys know, you hear me say it all the time. On Instagram, The Future is Bilingual, or write to me at tfibpodcast@gmail.com. Those are the 2 ways you can reach me. I also want to start posting episodes more regularly. So right now, they've just kind of been going out whenever they're ready. So this is something I do for fun. It's not a job. Things have not been very regular or consistent. So I'd like to maybe start posting things at least on the same day of the week. It's most often been Friday, so we'll see if we can continue with that. I don't know if that matters to people. I personally don't listen to episodes the second they come out. Maybe that is something that would matter to you, so you can let me know. I also want to try and be less of a perfectionist, as I mentioned. I try and make everything sound very fluent and neat, and it's okay. I think I have to accept that it's okay to say and and sound like a real person sometimes. So I want to work on that and not wasting so much time re-recording something, like the intros and the outros that I do by myself. Sometimes I record those a few times. Little confession. So yeah, I think I just want to work on that, work on accepting myself as I am. I also want to try and get work done when I can. So even if it's only for a little bit, for 10, 20 minutes, it's still better than putting it off, and then trying to do a whole bunch at night when I'm tired, I'm not feeling my best. So yeah, I want to try and just be better at working, staying focused. Really helps when I put my phone completely away and out of sight, or mute it or something like that, just to kind of focus on what I'm doing. So my hours are precious. When my kids are sleeping, that's when I can get the best work done. And so yeah, I want to use that time wisely. And the last thing I want to work on is editing episodes in one go. This might be difficult, especially the longer episodes. But if you've been following me on Instagram, or maybe just you've heard in episodes, I've had a little bit of issue with audio recently. So I think it might be due to going in and editing a little bit and then saving and signing out. I don't know. I'm in contact with Anchor to try and figure it out. But I think editing, something is going on when I'm editing. We lose a few seconds of audio, which is crucial because it doesn't always make sense without those few seconds. So maybe if episodes are shorter, maybe I can just sit down and edit it in one go, and it'll be easier for everybody. So let's hope that that helps. So I hope that this short little episode was interesting and that you learned a little bit about me. And yes, there will be 2 more parts to this series. And I do look forward to telling you guys more about how things are going. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you, as I said. So if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. Find me on Instagram, The Future is Bilingual, or write me an email, tfibpodcast@gmail.com. So thanks for listening as always. And yeah, take care. Bye.